Hello, welcome. My name is Manuel from Kata Studios. Today we are going to learn how to create a blog post. Okay, this tutorial is not how to create a blog page in a website. It's how to create or actually publish a blog post. This particular tutorial will come in handy if you are a client who is looking to publish your own blog without employing anyone to do that for you, and also if you are a designer, web designer who actually want to take this as a side hustle to publish for clients and they pay you for the job. So we're going to learn every little detail that is involved in creating a blog post like this. Okay, so to make a blog post, you must have an access to your WordPress dashboard. So either the client provide you the username and password to the dashboard, then when you get in, these are the simple steps you need to do. So let's get into create a simple blog post. So we're going to copy this dummy text and we are going to head over here. So when you want to create a blog post, you're going to see this option at the top. This is a custom post type. Okay, call it advanced custom field. These are advanced custom, just custom fields, not advanced custom field, because it's just to put in the text, images and all of that. So this is the custom post type. This particular one over here is where you're going to click. This is where you want to click. Either you click on it, or let me show you what else you could do. So when we are here, we can hover over it and you're going to see these options pop over here. So you can click on add new post to get straight to the point. Now there are a little things we need to consider here so we can keep our blog post very well organized. Now we have what we call categories and tags. We're not going to place more emphasis on tags. You use tags if the blog posts are having more than 100 or 200 posts in it, but you use categories when you have about 50, 100 posts within the blog area. So categories is enough to go for what we want for now. Tags is when you have some more extension or subcategories of a particular content. For instance, if you're publishing for an E3 and you have a food made in Nigeria and you want to specify it to a particular region in Nigeria, possibly you can say Igbo food or Yoruba food or Hausa food. So Yoruba food will be a tag, whereas the category will be Nigerian soup. So Nigerian soup will be the category, and we can have France soup, Italian soup. So it's not actually very important. It's only important when you have some subcategory of that particular topic you are talking about. So we're going to deal with categories. So first thing, you may need to create a couple of categories. So for instance, for this category, we might have to do with farmland, or let's talk about seedlings. So here we add category. You can leave the slug as it is. This automatically will be filled in as the slug, or we can just copy this and paste here. But automatically, if you save this, this will be filled as the slug. So here it is the category. We leave it as the parent category. We don't want to put it under any category, though you can have a subcategory, something different from the tag as we talked about here. So leave it as parent category, leave the description as empty. You can add an image if you want to. I'm going to show you how to do that later. So click on add new category. So as we add this new category, we now have seedling category. Usually this should be a capital letter to start with. So I'm going to show you where these categories applies to, and we're going to deal with that in a couple of moments. So next, let's go to all posts. Usually when you create a new website, you usually don't have any post here, or you have a dummy post which you might need to delete. If you want to edit a post, click on edit here, or edit on the contents article, or quick edit to quickly edit some basic informations. Okay, you can trash it from here, then you can view that particular blog post by clicking this. Okay, to view it how it looks in the front end, like what we have from here. That's what it means. So now we want to edit this post. We click on this and we want to quick edit. We deal with this and trash to this, but this is not what we want to do today. What we want to do today is to add a new post. You do that from the top side, or you do that from this particular angle. I talked about that previously before now. So here is where we're going to add our title. Let's name this. If you want your blog title to have 2 lines, you must make sure your blog title have a count of about 10 to 12 words. But if you want it to be just 1 line, make sure it is within 5 words. So get that in mind. Here is going to deal with copywriting and how to modify or minify the title your client sends to you. So now we are done with that one, which is the first one. The next thing we need to do is to don't use this if you have already existing builder. Okay. So next thing, we have to paste our article, and we're going to paste it again. And I think this is enough for what we want. Now, next thing we need to do here, we need to learn is all these tags at the top side of this area. Well, before we get to that, let me show you how to add a title. Maybe this paragraph is talking about a different seed. You can put that particular seed here. I can say Bahamas seed. So to make this particular wording more exceptional from the rest, you have to add a paragraph. So you add paragraph from here, click on this, and we can add the H tags as we want from here. Okay, so as you can see, it's bolder. The lesser H tag number you choose, the thicker the text is gonna be. I hope you get the point. So we have that as Bahamas seed. Fine. And if you want to apply a tag on a text, even if it is only one you want to apply, or two, let's say you select on this one, apply this tag, paragraph tag on it, look what happens. It's going to apply to all of them. Why? Because a paragraph tag applies to every element or every content inside of that paragraph. So except we separate this from this paragraph, we can now select and add the paragraph to it. I hope you get the point now. So don't make that mistake from that end. So we are done with that. Next thing we need to do is learn how to emphasize or place emphasis on certain text even inside a paragraph. So you want to make a particular text bolder than the rest, wants to emphasize on a particular text. What you need to do is select on the text you want to emphasize on. You head over here. You're going to find this bold tag. Click just on it and it's going to bold or modify that particular text or make it thicker. You can do that for all text you want to place more emphasis on. So you want people to actually cite those particular wordings, and it makes a little more sense. You want to make some text italic in a style. You can click on this italic style and you apply that. I think you can also make a text bold and italic at the same time. So we are done with that. The next thing we need to do is to add a bullet point. Bullet point is like a list of stuffs you want to talk about. Possibly it's a grocery store and you want to list some ingredients for a particular food type. So you can click on this particular one, the next one after the italic. Then when you are writing, you don't need to click that again. When you click next, it gives you the next line. Next, it gives you the next line, and so on and so forth. Now, if you want to break this line, if you keep clicking next, you keep having that line. Okay, if you click next again and type, you keep having that line. But when you click next twice, 1 and 2, it breaks that line, so you can continue what you're doing. I hope you get that point too. So now next thing we need to learn is how to add let's try to add numbers. We are done with this bullet point. If you want to add number, select all you want to add number with, click on the number tag. It will switch them automatically, so it must not be that you have to start afresh writing those stuffs. You can click on the bullet point to go back to bullet point and number to go back to number points. Okay, now this one is for quotes. If you want to add a block quote, okay, click on there. You can continue typing. A block quote means you want to space all these elements, okay, so it can be separated from the main content. I'm going to show you how these stuffs are going to look from the front end. So that's why we are trying to create more sections. So we see how the same thing applies. When you click enter twice, you see you space out stuffs. Now this particular one is to left align elements, right align elements, and center align elements. So we can select all of this and we can say center align. It will center align all the elements. Left align, it will left align elements, and we can notice that was right align. This is now left align. Okay, so that's the basic things we need to know there. Now the next thing we need to know is about the link. You can add a link to a particular blog post. Like for instance, if you want to add this as a link, let's go copy a video link, one of my video from here. So click option, we say get shareable link, and we have to go back to our blog. There are two ways to add a link, one of which is we will need to paste the link like so. Okay, and this one, what it does is it populates the content automatically, but I'm going to talk about this in a little while when we come to media. So now we click on this and we can type our text. Okay, we can say watch video here. So we possibly might need to make this a little bit bolder, then we can add our link. Now select on the text you want to add a link, then click on add a link. Then you can paste your link inside of this little field and hit on apply. Automatically that link applies to that particular text. And if you want to make a text the text itself a link, you need to paste the link on the text, but that's not necessary. Okay, just add this and it will automatically switch the link type. You want to edit it again, you can click on this and edit it. You want to remove the link totally, you can click on this and the link removes. So we're going to add that link from there. Click and we paste our link and we are good to go. So we are done with that. The next thing is breaking a line. Very important part too. So let's take, for instance, this part. Okay, so you see, we use this to break a line between elements. We can use this to add content inside of the line we just broke. Then the next thing we may need to learn to do is the final one. Let's just check out Toggler toggle. So what this functions as an extra layer of style to your work. So you might not want, they didn't want to add all those visuals here. So we can actually apply those extra features from these ones. For instance, we want to change the color of this particular text. Select on it, then click on this option and we can select the color we want to add. Okay, this one also, you want to paste a text. These are just, most of them are not very relevant. You want to clear a format, you selected a particular format. You can just hit on this and it will wipe out the whole format from there. What clearing format means is cleaning everything you have applied to that text. I hope you get the point. So you can highlight a particular certain area, select, and we can then make it bold. And you see it have that particular color. You can revert, like undo and redo, you know, those kind of a thing. And these are how these stuffs function. So those are the basic things we need to learn about all of this. You can collapse this from there and let's proceed with the next things. So the next line is to add a media. Very simple. We want to add a media here. We want to add an image. We want to add a video. So we want to add a YouTube video from here. All you need to do is to get to the line you want to add the video and go to YouTube or whatever link you want to copy the video from. To get a video from YouTube, click on the three dots option and you're going to see the get shareable link. Just click on that, get back to your video and paste. You just wait a while and the video automatically populates. Okay, so this is our video. We can click option to edit from here. So this is basically it to add a video. So the next thing we are going to be learning to add an image. So let's add an image beneath here. So to add an image, select on the area you want to add an image, click on add media. So from here, we're going to select an image we want to add. So for instance, we want to select this particular one, click on insert post. Now, as you can see, we are having a problem. The image is very, very small. How do we fix this issue? And all you need to do is to what? Click on the image itself. You can click on the option at the top right to click on edit. Okay, here you can select the size of the image. The more you go higher, the more image go higher. Okay, you want to use full size, enable that, update, and the image is going to be full size. So that's how to edit that particular layout. And click on option, let's just pull it to large and we are okay to go with that. Fine. Okay, so we're going to add a final image here and I'm going to show you something very quickly. Okay, let's use this image. Let's use the same image. Let's revert it to basic and we're going to add another image maybe here. Let's add a different kind of image. Let's add okay, I love this, but it's and by the way, I forgot to tell you, do not use squared image on blog posts. Usually you should be using horizontal images, not vertical images. Horizontal like this, images that the width is wider than the height. That's horizontal. So we apply this image. Let's make adjustment to it a little and we're going to make this full size and we update. Fine. So fine, we have this large image and we have the small image. Now let's play around with this image. Click on it. We can place it to the right to pull it to the right of the content. We can place it to the middle to pull it to the middle of the content and place it to the left to put it to the left of the content and leave it as it was. So these are basic things you can do with your image. Once you get to a particular section, you can play around with the section, placing the images places you want them to be. So that's very important for you to note. So we have talked about texting, text format. We talked about video and how to apply embed video on your YouTube. It's actually called video embedding. How to embed videos, and we also talked about how to embed images and how to resize images in our blog post. I think those are the basic things we need to learn. Now let's get to the right panel. Okay, if we get to the right panel, we're going to see options here to preview. You're going to see options here to save as draft. If you save this content as draft, it means you want to save it but don't want it to appear in the front end of your blog because you want to revisit this post and edit something. So you can save it as draft so that you don't lose your work. The next thing, you can see the draft status. You can see the visibility, whether it's public. You can see the publish. If you hit this publish, it's published immediately. You can edit it to publish in a certain period of time. Okay, you can move it to trash. Then the category section, you see that the seedling category we added is now available. So we can enable this category for seedling. Okay, since this is a seedling and it's under blog too, so you can enable more than one category. We can also add an extra category from here. We can also call this farm, and you know, as we added this category now, it will automatically appear in the category section as we are creating our categories. Very simple. You can go over there to further adjust settings from there. So you can add more categories as you want, and that is it. Okay, you can put categories to be under other categories as you're creating them. It's all up to you. The taxonomies, we talked about them before now. We don't need them in this post, so we move on. Now, post attributes, we leave it at the default template order. We leave it at 0. This order is the index, which one is going to appear before. But you leave it at 0, it means that the order is automatically going to be the last post that you just made. Now, the final place, which is the most important thing, is the featured images. As you can see, we have an image that appears here. This is called a featured image. The image appears at the top of every post. For instance, if we go back to our blog post, we are going to see some couple of images that actually appear here. So these images are not the one we added during the publish of this post. Even if you add an image at the beginning of this post, it's not going to work. So where you're going to see that image is what? Over here, where you can set image. So we can select the image we want to select. And for the advice, if you are using image size of square in your blog post, make sure all image that you are using for all blog posts are square. So I have another tutorial which I possibly might link under the description, but if I don't do that at the end of this editing, make sure to check out how to optimize images. I talked about that a little, and I emphasized on sizing and how important it is in uploading for websites. So now when you want to select an image of a particular size, the image I used for this are the same size. As you can see, watch very closely to this part. See the size of images we are using from here. Just watch. The image is the same size, the same size, the same size, the same size. Now look at what different. This is different. You see it? So which means the images we used for a particular blog must be of a particular size. You can do that with Photoshop, resizing images, make sure is the particular size. Possibly you can use a square for all your blog posts. A square size images will also make a lot of sense. So we're going to choose just one image and we are going to proceed with our publish. So we select on this one, and I'm going to select the wrong one. I selected the wrong one so that we can see the problem we are going to face if we use images that are not the same size. Okay, so we select this one and we upload. And we have our featured image here. Okay, so this featured image works perfectly well for what we want, but we are going to see the problem is going to cause in the front end of our results. So we added that image and we can hit on publish. So we are good to go. This post now is ready. We can go and find it in our blog post. So click on blog post. We are going to see it as the last image. You see the problem the image is causing. So now we didn't use square image, which is the same size we used there. Look at the size of image we used and look at the problem it's causing. You get the point. So we don't need layer that doesn't make sense. If you know you are using square for all your image for your blog posts, use square for all of them. If you know you are using rectangle for all images, use rectangle for all of them. So to fix that problem, we go back to our image and we don't even need to remove. Just click on the image side. Then here we are going to select an image that corresponds that size. For instance, this one, we click on enter and we update. Whenever you do, click on update. Is our blog post. So let's refresh this. You can see that have been automatically updated. Very good. So that's the basic things you need to know about uploading content to the blog. So when we click on this blog post, we will now see our blog featured image. Then we see our title. Then we see that one we made very bold. Then we see other captions. We see our video. We can play our video from here. Then we see the video link we added from here. You see, you hover on it, it changes the color. Then we scroll down. We see the images here. We see the title we popped to the left, and we see this other image to this side, and that is how blog posts are made. These are basic elements that makes up a blog. Now, one more thing. As you can see, what I'm using here is a classic editor. A classic editor is the old format of content editing in WordPress. I had to update it. I have to actually download this classic editor because I love using classic editor because of the feel. I love that particular old feel. I don't like the new modern editor that have been updated for the latest version of WordPress. So now let's deactivate this classic editor and see what the new editor feels like, because sometimes you might not remember to update or install the classic editor, or the client might not even like it. So let me show you how to work around the new form of editor. So we deactivate this and we go back to all posts. So now we click on the post to edit it again. So we have it on edit, and we have this option. We have this option at the top here. You can possibly see your area to place your contents. So this is basically it, and at the right side are all the things we can find here. The categories, you can click on drop down, add more categories from here. So these have accordions to work with, and have an excerpt. An excerpt is a kind of content you want people to preview. You want people to read part of the content of your blog before they get into reading the main content. And excerpts are added, usually added in the blog archive page. So when you hover on this, you're going to see this content at the bottom part. These are called excerpts. You can read a little about the blog before you can get into reading the blog. You can add more layers of line to the excerpts and so on. So now let's proceed with editing with the new modern editor. So to edit with the new modern editor, click on it and click on option from here. You don't even need to click on option. Click on convert to block. Okay. Once we click on convert to block, we have this ready to start editing. So we can start editing whatever I want to. So for instance, we want to make this bold. Still the same options as we have here. We make it bold and we click on option here to see some other option content we have available. You can change the languages from here, select a language you want to change to, and so on. Okay, so we can also add a link the same way we did with the previous one. Click on option and we add our YouTube link. You get the point. It's still just the same thing. It still does. You can add a heading from here, you can add a listing from here, you can add a quote from here, you can add a column. At least this one shows us a visual concept of what we are trying to add by the right top corner. Okay, you can add a code block from here. You can add a group performed. This preformatted, I don't think this is necessary. This preformatted make your text look like this. You see it, so I don't really think that's a thing. Okay, so that is basic things we need to know. Is still the same concepts, the same concept with the other one. Okay, just that in this one we want to add an image. So once we want to add any content, what we need to do is to click option, add after. Add after means we want to add it after the content. Click on option, add after. We're going to get this option to add a block. So click on this, then we can select whatever we want to select. We can browse all of the content from here. You see it? We can browse all of the content we can add from here. There are multiple content we can add from here. Tons of content we can add from here. So this is even a little more overwhelming than the other one. Okay, so we add after. Again, click on option. We want to add an image. Simply click on this. Add it. This usually are the favorites. I'll call this the most essential. So click on image, and we need to upload our image or go to our library to pick our image, or you can even upload image from other image sources. So click and our image is added. So now our image is added. We can further expand our image from here without even going into that stuff that we went through. So further adjust it as we want it to be, just right from the block. Can further adjust the size, height, and width depending on the content style for the image. You can also crop the image from here, clicking on crop, and so many more things you can do. So once you're done with that one, you want to create a new block, click option, add a new block, you can add a paragraph, you can add a list, you can add a heading text, you can embed a link, and so on. Let's add a heading text. You understand the drill. There is no big deal in this. Once you're done, click on update, and that is just it. Let's click on our blog over here. So you'll be able to find the content we just modified right now. So that's how to use the modern editor and the classic editor to edit your blog. But for the best practice, I would suggest you use the classic editor. So that's what I usually install for my clients. It's more easier and user-friendly, and it's not very cranky or overwhelming with too many features or too many styling, because editing with the publisher is just like using a Gutenberg. The Gutenberg layout is a little bit more like a design feature. So it's now like you yourself becoming a designer. You're trying to build a website, and you know how stressful that could be, rather than just using your fields that are provided, the custom fields that are provided to fill in the informations, add the image where necessary, and that is it. So that's it about how to publish a blog. My name is Manuel from Kata Studios. I hope I explained everything that you need to understand in this particular post. If you don't understand any part of this, leave a comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you have not done so. Do have a wonderful day.